Hi, boys and girls. We just finished reading the story Curious George Discovers the Rainbow. And I shared with you that at the end of the book, Curious George gives us some really cool science activities to try. So we're going to do this first one called Measuring Rainfall. We all know that you need rain and sunlight to see a rainbow. And in this book, George suggests that we collect the rain and see how much rain has fallen. And you can do that by getting a glass jar or some type of clear container. You just want to make sure that it's heavy enough so that when you set it outside, the wind doesn't knock it down or blow it over. So if you get a glass jar like this and you find a place outside where you can set this on the ground, whenever it rains, the rain will fall into the jar, and then when the rain has stopped, you can go out and see how much rain has fallen. You can take out a ruler and you can measure to see how much rain has fallen. Wouldn't that be a cool idea? Now, if we would have had this outside this whole week, there would be a lot of water in here because it has rained a lot this week. But I'm gonna go find a spot outside today where I can set my little, I'm gonna call it my rain jar, and I'm gonna see how much rain I can collect in there over the next couple days, maybe even the next couple weeks. So I hope you'll do that with me as well. Okay, the other activity that George shared with us at the end of this book has to do with rainbows and colors, and that's what we're going to work on next. How many of you know that there are 7 colors in the rainbow? Just like my crazy hair today. In fact, I'm missing just one of those colors. Let's see if we can name the colors in the rainbow. We've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then this is the color I'm missing, indigo. It's kind of like a mixture of blue and purple, and then the last color is purple or violet. Yeah, so I've got 6 out of the 7 in my hair. Well, for this activity, we're going to need 3 of those colors. They're called primary colors. So right here, I've got this little poster for you that says primary colors. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Did you know that? They're called primary colors. Yeah. And out of these 3 primary colors, you can make other colors. Yeah. We call those secondary colors. And I have another little poster here for you. It says secondary colors. The secondary colors are orange, green, and purple. And this experiment is going to show us how if we start with the 3 primary colors, we can make some secondary colors. Yeah. Since we're doing a science experiment, and I think I'll stick these, I'm going to stick these little posters back here. You'll notice that I have our steps for doing a science experiment. Whenever we do a science experiment, there are 4 steps, 4 parts. Number 1 is the materials. So we're going to go over the materials in just a minute. Number 2 is the procedure. That's the steps we're going to follow, the things that we're going to do in doing this science experiment. Number 3, a good scientist makes predictions. So we're going to predict what do we think is going to happen. And then we're going to get to test it out and find out what really happens. Number 4 is I'm having a difficult time saying it. Conclusion. Scientists, once they've tested an experiment, they are able to come up with a conclusion. They're able to hopefully answer some of their questions as to why something happened and how it happened. So are you ready to get started? Okay, let's go over the materials. For this science experiment, you're going to need a glass pie plate, or you could use a cake pan. It doesn't have to be glass, but just some type of container that can hold our next material, milk. You need a little bit of milk, okay? And I promise we won't use up too much, parents, because I know this is a hot commodity right now, but we're gonna use a little bit of milk. You're going to need some dish soap. It doesn't matter what kind. I have some Dawn dish soap here. You're going to need some Q-tips. I've got some Q-tips here. And then you need those 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. You need some food coloring. So we've got our red, yellow, and blue food coloring here. Okay, I'm ready to get started. Are you? Okay, if you need a little bit of time to get some materials ready, just pause the video and then you can join me in just a minute. Okay, so we went over the materials. Let's go to number 2, the procedure. The very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pour a little bit of milk into your pie pan or your cake pan, okay? And let mom and dad maybe help you with this part. We don't want to waste a lot of milk, so we just want to pour a little bit so that the whole bottom part of our pie pan is covered with milk. Okay, I'm going to show you what mine looks like. See if I can bring this in. There we go. I have just some milk on the bottom of my pie pan. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our red food coloring, and I want you to put 3 drops of red food coloring in the middle of your milk, okay? So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. Now, I want you to get the next primary color, which is yellow, and we're going to put 3 drops of yellow close by the red, but not on the red, not touching the red, at least not yet, okay? So I'm gonna, it's like we're making a triangle with these 3 dots. 1, 2, 3, okay. And now I'm gonna take my last primary color, blue, and I'm gonna put 3 blue dots. And then I'm gonna show you a close-up of what this looks like. Okay, do you have your 3 red dots, your 3 yellow dots, and your 3 blue dots? There's what mine looks like. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take those Q-tips that you got out, and we're going to put a little dab, a little dot, a baby dot of Dawn dish soap or any kind of dish soap on the end of your Q-tip. So I'm going to put just a little bit at the end. And what we're going to do is we're going to touch the center of that triangle that we kind of made, and we're going to see what happens, okay? What do you think is going to happen? Remember step number 3. We just followed all we followed number 2, the procedure, the steps. Now we're to number 3. Make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? Well, let's find out. Okay, so I'm going to take, I've got my Q-tip, and I'm going to touch the center. Whoa! How cool is that? Look at all the color. It's like spreading out everywhere. Oh, how awesome was that? That was so cool. Okay, well, guess what? The other end of my Q-tip does not have any dish soap on it yet, so I'm going to try it again. I saw the red spread, and when the red spread and it mixed with the blue, do you know what color I can see in my pan? If you said purple, yeah, that's what I see. But the yellow and the red didn't get to mix so much, and neither did the blue and the yellow. So I want to try to make those mix. So I put a little more dish soap on the other end of my Q-tip, and I'm gonna touch this yellow part over here, and I wanna see what happens. Oh, look at that! How cool! I'm seeing some green and some orange in the milk. How awesome! Oh, this is such a neat science activity. I'm so glad Curious George suggested that we do this today. Well, let's see. If we were real scientists and we finished making some predictions and testing out the science experiment, we would come up with a conclusion. We would try to answer the question, what happened and why? First of all, did the colors mix? Yeah, they did. When we took those primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and we put them in the milk, as soon as we touched them with a little bit of the dish soap and they started to spread out, they mixed and they made the secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. Yeah, well, why did that happen? Why do you think the dish soap made the colors spread? That would be a good question for us to find out the answer to. And you know what? Every good scientist, when they're testing things out, they try to answer questions. So I want you to think about that today and see if you can come up with an answer as to why or how this soap made the colors spread. Why did they go out really fast? And you might want to do this experiment over and over again. This is a pretty cool one. In fact, you can keep taking your Q-tips and you can keep putting a little bit more dish soap on them, and you can try touching other parts just like I did. I'm gonna touch this blue part over here and see what happens. Oh, look at that. It's moving away. How cool. And look at all those colors that it's making as it's moving away. So awesome. We don't want to waste a lot of milk. So mom or dad might not want you to pour any more milk into your container, but you can keep getting some Q-tips out and putting just a little bit of dish soap and touching the different colors and watching the colors spread. Well, I hope you had fun doing that science experiment. I know I did. It was so awesome. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.